Dear Lord, how can I express myself to you? And they said a series of many things to Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was moved by their humility. That's the best part of it. He told them, instantly initiated them. With Dabir Khas Sakara Malik, I said Sakara Malik and Dabir Khas, Agji Hobe Dunhara Naam, Rupa Sanatana, Dhainya Chada Tumi Tumare Dhainya Fate Moramana. Please give up your humility. Your humility is breaking my heart. You can imagine how genuine the humility would have been, that the Lord is telling them, stop being humble. It's killing me. Because they were so genuine in their humility. They were not putting it up. They could easily put it up because they were so talented, so rich, having a very high position in society, and everything that you can look for. Janmaishwarya Shutashibhir Yedamana Madhapuman. As Kunti Devi said, good birth, knowledge, money, wealth, position, everything they had, fit to go mad, Madha. But they were so humble. Why? Because they had devotion to Krishna. They were pure devotees. So this is one example of an attendant quality of humility automatically manifesting. If you can try hard being so humble, it will be very difficult. You'll have to put it up. You have to work hard to be humble. So that's the shloka here saying, you don't have to work on being humble, tolerant, patient, dada. You don't have to separately work on them, which is what in the material world people do. You have courses and seminars on how to be humble, how to be this, how to be that. They'll never make it. They never make it. It's mentioned here. How can you be having these qualities? Mano rathen asati dhavato bahi. You cannot have these qualities. Because by simple logic, all the time, manoratha, the chariot of the mind, is being driven by you. Asati, asat means untruth, not real. Dhavato, you're running in this material world with all these material desires. Asati dhavato bahi, externally. You're very busy in the external. And you're kept busy in the external by material nature. What good quality can you have? It's impossible you'll have any good quality. Right? So sometimes we see people, touted as very great people and very good quality and this and that. A few days back was Gandhi's birthday. Of course, in India they call it Gandhi Jayanti and all that. And he's known to be a person of very good qualities. And Prabhupada also supported that to some extent. At different times he mentioned different things. But people knew that he was a saintly man. But he was famous, but he was not famous for being a devotee. He was not famous for being a devotee. He was famous for being a good man, saintly man, fair guy, non-violent person, materially good, accepted qualities. In the material world, I think these are spiritual qualities. If you're compassionate, you're doing a spiritual side of it. If you're a little charitable, you do a little spiritual activity, all that. But really speaking, these are not spiritual qualities. These are qualities of a sattvic person. These are qualities of a dharmic person. You may do all your swadharma very nicely. You may be a nice guy in this world. But according to Bhagavatam, he says, so what? That's the best part of it. He says, so what? If you're a good guy, so what? Kovarta apta abhajato swadharmataha. Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam harer Bhajan apakavo atapate tato yadi. The Bhagavatam says somebody who understood about Krishna consciousness, not very qualified, but then he made a decision, no, I must do this. It makes a lot of sense. I may not be a great devotee, I may not even be having great qualities, right? But intelligence tells me this is the best thing to do. It's been confirmed, whatever I'm saying. Thank you. Tyaktva swadharmam. Tyaktva means giving up. Swadharma means all the great good activities that you're supposed to do in Varnashrama and everything. Tyaktva swadharmam. Charanam bhujam harir. Went and embraced the lotus feet of Krishna. Forget it. I'm just surrendering. And what happened? Bhajan apakko atapate tato yadi. Gave up this side. Forget the world, forget the duties, forget everything. Tyaktva swadharmam. And went and held Krishna's lotus feet and started devotional service. But bhajan apakva, not pakva. Because of not doing devotional service properly also, fell down from there. Bhajan apakvo, patet adi, na patet. Patet means fell down from there also. The Bhagavatam says, so what is wrong? You have still profited. Ko vartha apta abhajatam swadharmata. Better than that guy who does all his dharma properly and never worships Krishna is to attempt, give up everything and attempt and fail. That's still better. This is Bhagavatam logic. This is Bhagavata's logic. So what if you have all the great qualities? So what if you have 1 million likes on social media? So what if you're that, you're this? These are our mano rate nasati dhavato bhayi. No use. Do you have devotion for Krishna? A small measure of devotion is far, far, far greater than all these qualities. Right? We must know very clearly what we are doing when we say we are practicing pure devotional service. We are practicing pure devotional service. Right? This also does not mean that you become a cruel, callous, stone-hearted person. That you're very cold towards interpersonal qualities and relationships. A devotee is not that by default he assumes the other position and becomes stone cold. No, devotee is a very humane person. Sometimes we think that by practicing devotional service, our transcendence should exceed our humanity. And we become cold. I learned this in the hard way. I remember I sort of left my home and joined as a full-time monk. And then my mom would say, you don't come home to see me, don't want to see me. I remember I'm from a large family. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers in my Purva Ashrama. Shri Radha Kala Chanji ki. And then I was like thinking I'm a great sadhu. I become a brahmachari. I'm moving around, giving lectures and serving Krishna. And what the hell you guys do? The regular stuff. Work and keeping up with the family and the problems and da-da-da-da. I mean, I was flying high internally for myself, reading Prabhupada's books and sharing it with people. And so my mom said, you don't like come home and see me sometime or something? I said, no, I mean, I'll come like that. I was not going home. And then I went one day and then she asked me this question, face to face. You really don't have any affection for me? I mean, is it a show that you're putting up? I mean, she was meaning that, but you're just putting up something, or you're controlling yourself from expressing your affection? Because me and my mom were very good friends. And we discussed all sorts of things, and I coolly resigned my job and never asked anybody. And one fine day I told her that I think I'll join full time. And then she for a moment was shocked, and then she looked at me and said, actually, I have 8 kids, and one kid goes this way is very good. Go ahead. For a moment, I thought that, oh gosh, you renounced me. She was very supportive. So she was testing me, but she was also chanting Hare Krishna and reading the books. She was asking me, I mean, something artificial she was feeling about you. But you don't have to, because you've joined full time, you don't have to be away from me, away from the regular stuff and all. So she asked me, you don't feel any affection or something? You become renounced or what is it? She accosted me face to face with this question. And she looked at me. I was a very experienced mom from a matriarchal family. So she just stood in front of me and said, what about it? And then I avoided her. But then I went back very disturbed. Am I faking it? Am I doing something wrong? At that time, I knew that something is wrong with the way we do things. Nothing wrong in being a proper human being, relating with people. You can be relational. You can be assertive about what you do. And at the same time, you can keep up your Krishna consciousness. But the way the mind works sometimes is challenging. Yes, we read all these shlokas and we feel that, automatically all these things will happen to me. See, it's happening to me. I've become very humble now. Look at me. I've become very knowledgeable now. Wow, look at me. Actually, all this is wrong. You simply have to be yourself. Just be yourself. And that's what most great devotees are. I read later about Shankaracharya. He was very close to his mother. I preach in those areas. Shankaracharya's birthplace in a place called Kaladi. There's a place called Kaladi in Kerala. It's called Kaladi. Kala means leg, feet. Adi means the bottom. Okay. His mother was a widow, and he was very young. And he used to help his mom. And she'd be very encouraging to him. And he had only his mom. So in order to help his mom to take a bath in the river was a little far away from the house. So he said, I should help my mom. So he put his heels into the bank and drew the river close to the house. That's why it's called Kaladi. He used the bottom of his feet and just drew the whole river to his hand, just flew. It just came off. He was such a potent yogi, even when he was very young. And he told mom, now you can take bath very easily. Just get on from the home, take bath. He was close to his mom. And then everything he would have to ask his mom. And so he decided that I would take sannyas. And then one day he went to take his bath in the river, and he fiend. Mom! He shouted, Ma! And mom came out from the house and said, what? The crocodile has got my leg. And there was a crocodile with his leg inside in the river. And he said, quickly give me permission to take sannyas. I'm going to die. And he wanted to force his mom to give permission to give sannyas. And mom said, sure, you can take sannyas. And he took his hand out of the crocodile and sent the crocodile away. Took his leg out of the crocodile and sent the crocodile, gave it one slap and said, get lost. And he went and took sannyas. And he left home. But he has an affection for his mother all the time. And I'm just giving you instance of people who were normal, although they were very great renunciants. And he went away, traveled everywhere, very famous sannyasi, speaking the Vedanta Sutra, speaking the Vedas, and he was reinstituting the Veda again after the Buddhist philosophy had taken over. So then he heard in his travels that his mother has passed away. And that you are supposed to, she has nobody else but to do the last rites. Nobody is there. She's just lying there. Why in society at that time? Because he was a Nambudri. Nambudri means a Kerala Brahmin. They have a shika coming like this. The shika doesn't fall on the back. They have shika like this. You can see pictures of them. Very high class Brahmins. So in that high class Brahmin society, they denounced him and said, what a son. He has left his mom and took sannyas and made some drama and ran away. Right? And so nobody was attending to her. Nobody is planning to do the rites. They were a very rigid society. So he heard that his mom is like this. And so he came back all the way by his mystic power. He can fly back. He flew back by his mystic power. And he went around asking for, I want to buy some wood. Or I'm a sannyasi, so give me some dhan. Right? Bhikshu. Some wood I want to cremate my mom. They said, you're a sannyasi. You have renounced. You should not do all these rites. Right? So nobody gave him wood. So it was very difficult for him. I want to do this for my mother. I may be a sannyasi, but I want to do this for my mother. I feel it is the right thing to do. So it's mentioned that he cut green banana trunks that was there in his house around. He cut all those banana trunks and made a pyre, and he, with his mystic power, lit the green banana trunks. They burned like nothing, and he gave the last rites to his mother. Never mind if you can't give me dry wood. Never mind if you think that I'm a sannyasi, I should not be doing this. I want to do it for my mother. She has been very kind to me. He did it. And in front of everybody, like a miracle, those green banana stems caught fire. And they were roaring fire, and he gave a suitable cremation to his mother. He did it. He's one of the greatest sannyasis in record. He came back and did him, broke all those rules. He was very humane. He said, I must attend to my affection for my mother. She has done wonderful things. I don't have to do this duty. I'm free from all these duties. Like the Bhagavad Gita says, na niragnir na chakriya. Don't light fire. Don't do any type of work, a sannyasi. He's simply dependent on Krishna. And the grahasthas serve and things like that. But he didn't do that because the grahasthas were not willing to do the cremation. So similarly we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After his sannyas, he came to Shantipur. Advaita Acharya waylaid him and brought him. And then he went and called his mother. Advaita Acharya actually had him in his house, and then he said to Sachi Mata, come and see your son. And when she came, the Chaitanya Bhagavatam says that she took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, put him on her lap. The sannyasi, sitting on his mother's lap. And he was completely surrendered. Okay, mother, tell me whatever you want, I'll do. And she said, no, you have taken a decision to take sannyas. I respect that. All I want to be able to see you all the time. Stay in Puri. Don't go anywhere else. And he did that. He did that. Stayed in Puri. Sat on his mother's lap as a sannyasi. I'm not saying that every one of us should go and sit on a mother's lap and, all day have taken sannyas and hang around and do things. But I'm just saying that how balanced and how natural are these great renunciants. Prabhupada, I met with Shatadanya Prabhu in Mayapur. And he told me, Prabhupada, he came back towards his last days. He gave him his chanting mala and told, go and give it to my wife and tell her to chant Hare Krishna. Amazing. And he said, I am the one who delivered the chanting mala to Prabhupada's wife. She was already initiated in the Gaudiya Math or something, and she was not chanting. He sent his mala to her. Isn't this humane? After all, she has been my wife in my Purva Ashrama, and she has served in many ways. whole world have been traveling and giving the benefit of Krishna consciousness to everybody else. She should also get that benefit. This is humane. It's not that we stick with rules and regulations. So when we say qualities, Shri Radha Kala Chanji ki, we should understand it's practical. Being very practical and being very natural. Right? We don't practice Krishna consciousness artificially. Right? So we have communities of devotees, and we have so many wonderful devotees in the committee, in the community. They are grahasthas, they are, brahmacharis, they are sannyasis, there are children, there are women, there are. So in practical life, Prabhupada was very different. He was not just sannyasi sitting somewhere up in the Himalayas. He was very practical and working day to day with his community, with his devotees, giving them association, talking to the children, talking to everybody, but being very natural. So when we speak of these qualities, they manifest when we actually serve Krishna, serve devotees, and be naturally oriented towards love of Krishna. They naturally come as qualities. We don't have to be artificially humble. Prabhu, without you, there is no life for me. Please let me take the dust of your lotus feet. And then immediately you turn around, you speak, that guy, you just immediately speak about him. This is what is the meaning of manorathena sati dhavato bahi. You can't avoid doing it, because that's where you sit. Our consciousness is like that. It's so difficult to work up something artificial. Right? What we should work on is our devotion to Krishna, our seva to Vaishnavas, because they are doing something for Krishna, without being judgmental. And this way it erodes our false ego. And that's why you see this Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, they were genuinely humble. It's not that they don't know artificiality. They're diplomats. You see, they were real diplomats. If you look at the conversation of Sanatana Goswami with the jail warden, he actually was so diplomatic with him. He bribed him. This is something which devotees should not do. Bribing. Is immoral, unethical. He told the warden, he first emotionally connected with him. And he said, I'm in bad times, but in my good times, I've helped you a lot. Because I was holding a position as a chief minister, as secretary. Now I think you should do something for me. And he was, what? The way he tamed him down is very interesting. This is Sanatana Goswami, a pure devotee. Then he said that, I want to leave this place. And he said, no. Don't even think of these things. He put a bag of gold coins in front and said, you see, you should benefit. I know you have difficulties in life. You should use this, and you should let me go. He said, no. That's not, he looked at the money and looked at him and said, what a guy. He's trying to bribe me. And there was a conversation between both of them. I don't remember all the details, but then at one point of time he said that, because he saw the gold coins and he got tempted a little bit, the warden. There's a saying by a big statesman called Hugh Walpole. Every man has got his price. It's not that, they talk moral, ethical things. I don't like do like this. It's just that you have to increase the benefit. And at one point he will fall for the benefits that you give. Because manorathena sati dhavato bahi, whatever great quality they talk about, at some point they'll descend. So this is known to Sanatana Goswami. So he tells him that, you'll be doing a good thing, you'll be spiritually helping me. Because I am going to Mecca. He said, I'm going to pilgrimage to Mecca. Out of all things to say to that Muslim warden, you will be helping me to go to Mecca. And that is a seva you're doing to a person who's a devotee of Allah. To Mecca, he should help me. Of course, he's going to Mecca, he's going to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But you see, so practical. Somebody can say that this is not devotee quality at all. Bribing, doing that, telling lies. So I'm just giving you these examples about artificiality, natural behavior, humaneness. Sometimes we become prematurely transcendental, unnecessarily, and it's never going to stand. It's not going to work. Right? We should focus on serving in a service mode, serving Krishna, serving his devotees, continuing to chant Hare Krishna, and like they say, stand where you sit. And gradually you become a devotee. And these qualities appear in you because they are a byproduct of pure devotional service. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. It's exactly 8:30. I'll stop here and take a few questions if you have. I can hear you. Go ahead. Okay. I didn't choose the verse. I was asked to choose a verse.
We chose the verse.
And then I asked him, I really don't know what to choose. So I think it is Radha Kalachandji's inspiration.
Thank you so much. Maharaj, when you were speaking about the verse, the Bhajanna Pakko, I could not locate the verse where it is on the Google. So
Which one?
Bhajanna Pakko verse, like even if you are
Yeah.
not, this is from
Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam harer bhajan apakkavo atapate tato yadi. That shloka. Yatra kva va abhadram abud amushya kim kovarta apto abhajatam swadharmatah. Very famous verse Prabhupada
yes,
quotes
yes,
this.
I have heard it, but I could not look. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah,
right?
in the first canto.
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Once again, Maharaj.
Any question? Yeah. 1, 2, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for such a nice class, Maharaj. I was hearing a class the other day, and it was on the 7th canto, 12th chapter, 8th text. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport makes this point about unnecessary association with family. And so that had me wonder what is defined as necessary association and what is defined as unnecessary association. Because he states that unnecessary association with one's mother is strictly prohibited, or unnecessary association with the sister or the daughter. So perhaps you could.
I think on the face of it, necessary association with what promotes your real purpose in life, prayojana, that promotes your developing love of Krishna, whatever promotes that, that's necessary association. Unnecessary, like it's mentioned, nectar of instruction, is whatever stands as an impediment to that is unnecessary. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varchanam. What is conducive to Krishna consciousness and progress in that, you accept it. What is not conducive, reject it. So that could be unnecessary association, generally speaking. Yeah. I think Mataji had a hand next. Okay, after. That's okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the wonderful talk. And I really appreciate I'm grateful that you addressed this point that devotion shouldn't transcend humanity, humane qualities. And two parts of my question. First is that, see, we live in a dham and we interact with devotees every minute, every hour, every single day. And how can we stick to this part where our transcendental qualities or our devotion is true to Krishna, because that's what you answer, that if devotion is true to Krishna, we won't be having artificial behavior. So how can our devotion be true? And second, when we are in situations, when we are dealing with devotees, sometimes very, very senior devotee, it could be my immaturity that I'm asking this question, but we see a lot of, sometimes the behavior is not very devotee behavior, or that could have been better. So it's my fault that I'm seeing the negative part, but we see sometimes that the reaction or response is in such a way that it's not very transcendental qualities. And how do we in that situation take it? Because the mind says, okay, person is doing a lot of services, very senior disciple, and just reprimanding right, left, right, and center, or they're not behaving in a very nice way. So how do we focus only on our devotion to Krishna, and that maybe it's a purificatory process for me? So that's my question.
See, we should also understand reality, how things are there in this world. We should not also oppose certain natural evolving that happens. Initially, everybody gets very excited in Krishna consciousness and enthusiastic. It's nice. And in the enthusiasm, sometimes they may have some amount of that rigidity. But we don't bother. The fact is that he's very enthusiastic. So sometimes, initially, they rub people in the wrong direction. Especially at home. You go and say things to your parents that you are a demon, you are a non-devotee because you are worshipping this demigod, or you are that, you are this, and they get very hurt. But then they may be right. You may be right. Theoretically, you are right. You can actually win an argument using Prabhupada's books and maybe even say that, therefore, these people are demons. The day before yesterday, I was reading a shloka in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that says that one who does not accept Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead and worship him is a demon. And then there's another question, similar, the second line says, therefore, one who does not also worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a demon. Who does not worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a demon. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now you can take this shloka and beat everybody black and blue with it. And say, you're a demon, you're a demon, you're a demon, I am worshipping Lord Chaitanya. This you can do. And you're right, as per the books. You're right as per the books. But it's not proper. It's not proper at all. And that's not what is the meaning of it, practically. So sometimes devotees, go and speak to their wife, their husband, their parents, in their excitement of discovering Krishna consciousness and wanting to be a pure devotee and practice pure devotional service. You may be stepping on many people's toes and hurting a lot of people. But that is your, what you should say, immature beginnings in Krishna consciousness, which will be tolerated most probably by your father and mothers. Oh, obviously this guy is a green person. He doesn't know. Even though they don't know Krishna consciousness, they know that it's not the right thing anyway. It's okay, I'll tolerate it. Their maturity may be even greater than your great Krishna consciousness and your own maturity. But they tolerate it. It happens very often in India. And they keep catering to the son, to the daughter, and helping them with their devotional service also. And over a period of time, the devotee understands that I shouldn't have done this, as they mature in their own Krishna consciousness. One thing is wisdom in life as you age. And the other thing is the theoretical Krishna consciousness that you know and which you keep putting in front of you. These are two things to be tackled. So, the reality is you're going to find a lot of immature execution of Krishna conscious principles. And that's natural also. People do that. But over a period of time, if they stick on and they face different situations in life and they mature into understanding that I'm not like right in what I did. Okay? So we should be tolerant towards both. And that's a reality in the world. That's one answer to your question. The second one, what do you do when senior devotees do something like this, like that? The best thing is to have a heart-to-heart dialogue. Ukhyamakyati prachati. I want to speak my heart out to you. I felt very disturbed when this happened. And I want to know. Before speaking to that devotee, it's better to speak to somebody else who is senior and take their word for it. Take a second opinion on your thought. Sometimes you may be wrong. That devotee may be in a different consciousness and doing something. You know the story of Govinda, Ramanuja's assistant. Ramanujacharya's assistant, very, very, what do you call, Pakha devotee, serving him. It was mentioned that he had other assistants and other friends and youngsters also. And they saw him that he was setting up Ramanujacharya's bed for him to sleep. He will tuck it in nicely, he will dust it, he will do everything. Then in the end, after he had finished everything, he'll lie down on it and sleep a little bit this way, that way and all that. And then get up and go. So they said, what are you doing? Sleeping on your guru's bed. This is complete nonsense. And you did so many nice things, dusting it, putting it together now. And finally, why did you sleep on it and enjoy it? And this news came up here and there. It was like the buzz. And it came up to Ramanuja. And Ramanujacharya, he knew immediately. He clarified and said, I know what he's doing. He's lying down on it and checking. Not even one small pea-sized irregularity should be there on the bedsheet. He's making sure there's nothing wrong. In his mind, he is completely absorbed in serving Ramanujacharya perfectly in the best possible way. So he has no, feelings about sleeping on it and checking it whether it's fine. Go to that extent. But people who watched it thought, this is wrong. This is offense. Sleeping on your guru's bed. But Ramanujacharya knew. I know who's Govinda. What is he doing? Similarly in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela also you have Govinda not crossing over Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for taking his lunch. But he crossed over for doing seva. And when Lord Chaitanya asked him, why did you not go and take your lunch? The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, he didn't speak it, but loudly in his mind, for my seva, for your seva, I'll even cross you, I'll go to hell. But for my eating and my gratification, I'll not do it. So he sat on the other side, just fasted till Lord Chaitanya got up. But he didn't say it. But the Chaitanya says in his mind, this is what he thought. And he just looked at Lord Chaitanya and didn't answer the question. And Lord Chaitanya knew, this is what my servant is. Sometimes we may judge improperly. So therefore, it's good to take a second opinion from some other senior devotee who may know more about that devotee and say, no, he's like this. He does that, but it's okay. it doesn't, you don't have to worry about it. Get to know something more about that person before you make a judgment inside. And if it doesn't work out there also, then you can go and talk to the devotee directly and say, a little disturbed by what you said, what you did, and just want a clarification. That's okay. Just be natural and do it. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nittai Gaur Premanande.